The massive space station hung in the darkness like a metal city. It was bigger than anything humans had ever built. 12 different alien races had their ships docked around it. The station spun slowly, creating fake gravity for the creatures. Inside the main council chamber, beings that looked nothing like humans sat around a huge circular table. Some had scales, others had tentacles, and a few looked like walking crystals. They all had one thing in common today. They were angry about the humans. Ambassador Veltar clicked his sharp mandibles as he stood up. His body was covered in blue, crystal plates that caught the light. He was from the Zephyrian Empire, one of the most powerful military forces in the galaxy. When he spoke, his voice sounded like breaking glass. "Council members, we have a problem," Veltar said. "The humans, from the third planet of Sol system, are spreading too fast. They have built colonies in 4-star systems now. This cannot continue." A creature that looked like a giant jellyfish pulsed with colored lights. This was the representative from the aquatic collective. "Why should we care about one small species? They just learned to travel between stars." Veltar's crystals turned, a darker blue showing his anger. "Because they are different. Most new species take thousands of years to spread to even one other star. The humans did it in less than 50 years. They build their colonies fast and they defend them well." A reptile-like being with red scales hissed from across the table. "What can these mammals do against us? Our ships are bigger. Our weapons are stronger. Our technology is thousands of years ahead of theirs." "That is exactly the problem," Veltar replied. "They should not be able to do what they are doing. Yet they continue to expand. They ignore our warnings. They act like they own the galaxy." The machine representative, a collection of metal parts that somehow formed a thinking being, spoke in electronic sounds. "Analysis shows human technology is primitive. Chemical rockets, explosive projectiles, basic energy shields. They pose no threat to council authority." Veltar slammed his crystal hand on the table. "Then explain how they destroyed 3 of our scout ships last month when we tried to inspect their new colony at Wolf 359. The room went quiet. Even the jellyfish stopped pulsing with light. Destroying Zephyrian ships was not something a primitive species should be able to do. "We must act now," Veltar continued. "Send them an ultimatum. They must stop all expansion immediately. They must accept council authority over their species. If they refuse, we will make them obey." The vote was quick. 11 species voted yes. Only the machine beings voted no, saying the data was not complete enough for such action. Far across the galaxy, on a blue and green planet called Earth, Admiral Jake Morrison was having his morning coffee when the message arrived. He was a tall man with gray hair and tired eyes. He had been in charge of Earth's space defense for 10 years. In that time, he had seen humanity grow from one world to a small interstellar civilization. The quantum communicator in his office started beeping. Morrison set down his coffee and activated the device. A hologram appeared showing the crystal alien from the council station. "I am Ambassador Veltar of the Zephyrian Empire, speaking for the Galactic Council," the alien said. "Your species has been found in violation of galactic expansion protocols. You have 72 standard hours to withdraw all colonies beyond your home system and submit to council authority. Failure to comply will result in corrective action. This is your only warning." The message ended. Morrison stared at the empty space where the hologram had been. Then he pressed a button on his desk. "Get me President Hamilton. Emergency priority." 20 minutes later, Morrison sat in the White House Situation Room. President Lisa Hamilton looked worried as she read the alien message on the screen. She was a smart woman who had led Earth through many difficult times, but nothing like this. "How many ships do they have?" she asked. Defense Secretary Ryan Cooper answered. "Intelligence estimates at least 2,000 ships in their combined fleets, maybe more. And we have 12 armed vessels," Secretary of State Amy Foster said quietly. "Jake, can we fight them?" Morrison looked around the room at the faces of Earth's leaders. They all wanted him to say yes. They wanted him to promise that humanity could win against impossible odds. "Our ships are good," he said finally. Our people are trained, but 12 ships against 2,000. The math does not look good. So we surrender? Cooper asked, his voice angry. No, President Hamilton said firmly. We do not surrender. But we need to be smart about this. Amy, try to open diplomatic channels. See if we can negotiate. And if they refuse to talk? Morrison asked. Hamilton's eyes grew hard. Then we show them that humans do not give up easily. Jake, prepare our defenses, all of them. Morrison knew what she meant. The public knew about Earth's 12 military ships. They did not know about the hidden weapons, the secret projects, the preparations that had been made in case this day ever came. What about the colonies? Foster asked. Do we evacuate them? No, Hamilton said. We protect them. Every human settlement, every research station, every mining platform. That is what we do. Morrison returned to his office and sat down at his desk. He opened a secure channel to the Galactic Council station. It took several minutes for the connection to reach across the galaxy. When Veltar's image appeared again, Morrison looked directly into the alien's crystal eyes. Earth acknowledges your message, Morrison said calmly. Our response is this. Any attempt to threaten human colonies or Earth itself will be met with full resistance. We suggest you reconsider. Veltar's crystals turned bright red with anger. You dare threaten the Galactic Council? You are nothing. Your species is barely out of its own solar system. Morrison smiled coldly. Come and find out what we are. He cut the transmission. Then he opened another channel, this one going to every human military commander in all 4 star systems. This is Admiral Morrison. Execute Defense Protocol 7. All units to battle stations. The aliens want a war. Let us give them one they will never forget. Across human space, hidden weapons came online. Secret military bases revealed themselves. Ships that looked like cargo vessels suddenly sprouted weapon systems. Miners and colonists who had never been soldiers picked up weapons and prepared to defend their homes. The Galactic Council had made a mistake. They thought humans were weak because they were new to space. They thought human technology was primitive because it looked simple. They were about to learn that sometimes the most dangerous enemies are the ones who look harmless. In 72 hours, the war would begin. But it would not be the easy conquest the aliens expected. The council chamber filled with sounds that humans would not recognize as laughter. The jellyfish creature pulsed with bright colors that meant amusement. The reptile beings hissed in what passed for chuckling among their kind. Even the machine, race made electronic noises that sounded almost like giggling. Ambassador Veltar stood at the center of it all, his crystal body glowing with satisfaction. The human's response had been exactly what he expected, primitive and foolish. Did you hear that? Veltar asked the other council members. They think 12 ships can fight our entire fleet. The Drakmori representative, a large reptile with red scales, showed his sharp teeth in what might have been a smile. These mammals have courage. Too bad courage cannot stop plasma cannons. Hi. Counselor Thexon, the leader of the Zephyrian Empire, reviewed the data files on his crystal tablet. The information about humanity was clear and simple. They had discovered faster-than-light travel only 60 years ago. Their ships used basic chemical rockets for power. Their weapons were primitive projectile systems that fired metal bullets. Look at this, Thexon said, showing the data to other council members. Their biggest ship is only 200 meters long. Our smallest destroyer is 5 times that size. They have no energy shields worth mentioning. Their armor is simple metal plates. The Aquatic Collective's representative floated in her water tank, speaking through a translation device. Perhaps we should study them more before attacking. Some species develop in unexpected ways. Veltar's crystals turned orange with impatience. What is there to study? They build small ships and shoot metal bullets. My child could defeat their entire fleet with one heavy cruiser. The machine representative processed data for several seconds before speaking. Probability of human victory, 0.001%. Margin of error accounts for unknown factors. See? Veltar said. Even the machines agree. This will be the easiest conquest in Council history. But the machines had not shared all their calculations. Deep in their electronic minds, they noted something strange about human expansion patterns. The humans built their colonies in systems that seemed random, but when mapped out, they formed defensive positions. Their trade routes looked simple, but they could quickly become supply lines for military operations. The machine race decided to keep this information to themselves for now. Meanwhile, billions of miles away, Captain Steve Johnson worked frantically in the orbital shipyard above Earth. He was a short, stocky man with oil stains on his uniform and worry lines around his eyes. For the past 20 years, he had been building Earth's secret fleet. "Megan, how are those new shields coming?" he called across the hangar bay. Engineer Megan Davis looked up from her workstation. She was a brilliant woman who had designed most of humanity's defensive systems. "The adaptive shielding is ready for installation. But Steve, I still do not think it will be enough against their energy weapons." Johnson walked over to look at her designs. The shields looked simple on the outside, but inside, they were incredibly complex. They could change their frequency 1,000 times per second, making it hard for enemy weapons to find the right setting to penetrate them. "It does not have to stop everything," Johnson said. "It just has to give us enough time to shoot back." In another part of the shipyard, Dr. Alex Turner supervised the loading of humanity's secret weapons. Turner was the lead scientist on Project Prometheus, Earth's most classified military program. The weapons looked like simple metal rods, but they were much more than that. "Are you sure these will work?" asked Colonel Dan Miller, watching the loading process. Miller was in charge of coordinating Earth's colonial defenses. Turner smiled grimly. "The aliens think we shoot metal bullets because that is what our weapons look like from the outside. They have no idea what these rods really are." The rods were made of tungsten, one of the hardest metals known to humans. But they were not just metal. Inside each rod was a small computer that could guide it to its target. The rods were fired using magnetic accelerators that could push them to incredible speeds. When these hit an alien ship, they will punch right through their energy shields, Turner explained. Energy shields are designed to stop energy weapons, not solid objects moving at 30% of light speed. Miller nodded, but he still looked worried. "What if their shields can adapt?" "Then we use these," Turner said, showing him another type of weapon. These looked like normal missiles, but they carried something special inside. Each one contains a small antimatter warhead. Not big enough to destroy a planet, but definitely big enough to ruin an alien ship's day. Across the solar system, similar preparations were happening at every human colony. What looked like simple mining stations were revealing hidden weapon systems. Cargo ships were opening up to show military equipment inside. Even civilian transports had secret modifications that would let them fight if needed. On Mars, Commander Kate Williams reviewed the defense plans with her staff. Williams was one of Earth's best military strategists, a tall woman with sharp eyes who never missed important details. "The aliens think we only have 12 military ships," she told her. "Officers. They counted our official fleet and stopped looking. They do not know about the converted cargo ships, the hidden weapons platforms, or the mining stations that are actually disguised military bases." Her communications officer, Lieutenant Sam Parker, looked up from his console. "Commander, we are receiving reports from all colonial systems. Everyone is ready." Williams nodded. "Good. When the aliens arrive, they expect to find frightened colonists begging for mercy. Instead, they will find prepared defenders who know exactly what to do." At the Galactic Council station, High Counselor Thexon was finalizing the attack plan. He had assembled over 2,000 ships from 6 different species. It was the largest fleet ever sent against a single planet. "Admiral Kexthul will command the assault," Thexon announced to the Council. "His flagship, World Ender alone, has enough firepower to destroy their entire civilization." Admiral Kexthul was the Zephyrian Empire's greatest military commander. His crystal body was covered in scars from 100 battles, and he had never lost a single campaign. He looked at the human star system on his tactical display with complete confidence. "How long do you estimate the battle will last?" asked the Drakmori representative. Kexthul's crystals glowed blue with certainty. 6 hours from arrival to complete surrender. Maybe less if they are smart enough to give up quickly. The council members made their various sounds of approval. This would be a good day for the Galactic Council. They would finally show all the younger species what happened when someone challenged their authority. But none of them noticed the small, monitoring device hidden in the council chamber. It had been placed there months ago by a human intelligence operative. Every word of their conversation was being transmitted back to Earth. Admiral Morrison read the intelligence report in his office. 2,000 ships, 6 species, complete confidence in easy victory. He should have been terrified. Instead, he found himself smiling. "They still do not understand," he said to his aide. "They think this is going to be like their other conquests. They have no idea what humans are capable of when we are fighting for our survival." The alien fleet began its journey toward Earth. They flew in perfect formation, their ships gleaming in the starlight. They broadcast messages of inevitable victory to each other. They planned what they would do with Earth after the humans surrendered. None of them realized they were flying into the most carefully prepared ambush in galactic history. The humans had been expecting this day for decades. Every defense had been planned, every weapon tested, every strategy refined. The Galactic Council was about to learn that sometimes the most dangerous enemy is the one who looks weak, but is actually ready for war. The alien fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel near Jupiter's orbit. 2,000 ships appeared in the darkness of space like a metal storm cloud. Admiral Kexthul stood on the bridge of his flagship, World Ender, and looked at the small blue planet in the distance. "So that is Earth," he said to his crew. "It looks so peaceful. Too bad we must destroy it." His communications officer, a younger Zephyrian with bright green crystals, activated the broadcasting system. "Admiral, we are sending the surrender. Demand on all human frequencies." The message went out across the solar system. "Humans of Earth and all colonies, this is Admiral Kexthul of the Galactic Council Enforcement Fleet. You have refused our ultimatum. Surrender now and your deaths will be quick. Resist and we will make your species extinct." On the bridge of the human ship EDS Defiance, Admiral Morrison listened to the alien message with a calm expression. His crew waited for orders, their faces showing determination instead of fear. "Send our reply," Morrison said quietly. Lieutenant Amy Brooks activated the communication system. Her voice was steady as she spoke into the microphone. "Alien Fleet, this is Admiral Morrison of the Earth Defense Force. We have heard your demand. Our response is simple. Come and take it." Admiral Kexthul's crystals turned red with anger when he heard the human reply. "These mammals think they can threaten us? Begin the attack. Show them what real power looks like." The alien fleet moved toward Earth in 3 groups. The first wave had 800 ships, more than enough to destroy any normal planet's defenses. They flew in perfect formation, their weapons charging for the attack. But as they passed Jupiter, something unexpected happened. The gas giant's largest moon suddenly lit up with weapons fire. Hidden bases that looked like research stations revealed, massive railguns. The first alien ships flew directly into a wall of tungsten projectiles moving at incredible speed. Admiral Kexthul watched in shock as 20 of his ships exploded in the first 10 seconds of battle. How is this possible? Our intelligence showed no military installations on that moon. His tactical officer, a nervous young Zephyrian, checked his readings twice before reporting. "Admiral, those projectiles are moving at 32% of light speed. Our shields cannot stop solid objects at that velocity." "Impossible," Kexthul snarled. "Primitive species cannot build weapons like that." But the evidence was right in front of him. More alien ships were exploding as the human weapons found their targets. The tungsten rods punched through energy, shields like they were not even there. Captain Steve Johnson commanded the human ship EDS Wolverine as it dove through the alien formation. His ship was much smaller than the alien vessels, but it moved like it was alive. The Wolverine spun and twisted through space, avoiding enemy weapons fire with moves that should have killed its crew. "How are they doing that?" asked Kexthul's tactical officer. "Those acceleration forces should crush any organic crew." The answer was another human secret. Their ships had inertial dampeners that let them make impossible maneuvers. What looked like a primitive human ship was actually more advanced than most alien vessels. Johnson's crew worked together like parts of a machine. Gunner Mike Taylor, locked onto alien targets and fired the ship's main weapon. Navigator Lisa Walker plotted course changes that put them exactly where they needed to be. Engineer Tom Davis kept the ship's systems running at maximum efficiency. "Target the big one with all the crystal decorations," Johnson ordered. "That looks like their command ship." The Wolverine fired its main gun at the World Ender. The tungsten rod streaked across space and slammed into the alien flagship's side. Kexthul felt his ship shake as the projectile tore through 3 decks. "Damage report," he demanded. "Hull breach on decks 7 through 9. We have lost secondary weapons control. Admiral, their weapons are more powerful than we calculated." Engineer Megan Davis watched the battle from her command post on Ceres Station. What the aliens thought was a simple mining facility was actually the control center for humanity's asteroid belt defenses. All around the belt, mining platforms were revealing their true purpose. "Activate Platform 7, Davis ordered. "Target the alien ships trying to flank our main fleet." Platform 7 looked like a normal asteroid mining station. But when it opened up, it revealed a weapon that made the railguns look small. The platform fired a stream of antimatter particles that could cut through anything. The alien ships that tried to go around the human fleet suddenly found themselves facing weapons they had never seen before. 3 Zephyrian cruisers disappeared in flashes of pure energy as the antimatter stream hit them. Colonel Dan Miller coordinated the defense from his hidden base inside an asteroid. He had been preparing for this battle for 10 years. Every weapon, placement, every ambush point, every tactical move had been planned in advance. "Phase 2, execute now," Miller commanded. All across the asteroid belt, what looked like mining equipment suddenly started moving. Ore haulers revealed themselves to be missile platforms. Processing stations opened to show fighter craft. Even small one-person mining pods turned out to have weapon systems. Admiral Kexthul could not believe what he was seeing. His fleet was being attacked from every direction by weapons that should not exist. The humans were not just fighting back, they were winning. "Sir, we have lost 300 ships," his tactical officer reported. "The humans have some kind of adaptive shielding. Our energy weapons are only working at 40% efficiency." "Then, use more power," Kexthul roared. "We are already at maximum output. Their shields change frequency faster than our weapons can adapt." Commander Kate Williams led a group of human fighters in an attack on the alien fleet's center. Her small craft moved through space like angry wasps, too fast and too small for the big alien ships to hit easily. "Remember your training," Williams told her pilots over the radio. "Hit them hard and get out fast, do not try to be heroes." Her fighters fired their weapons and scattered before the aliens could respond. Each human pilot knew exactly what to do without needing orders. They had trained for this moment their entire careers. The alien fleet tried to regroup, but the humans gave them no time. Every few minutes, another hidden weapon system would reveal itself. Cargo ships would drop their fake hulls to show military hardware. Research stations would open up to reveal fighter bays. Dr. Alex Turner activated the final surprise from his laboratory on Mars. Project Prometheus had been humanity's most secret weapon development program. Now it was time to show the aliens what they had really been working on. "Fire the Prometheus array," Turner ordered. From hidden positions throughout the solar system, beams of focused energy converged on the alien fleet. It was not a weapon that destroyed ships. Instead, it disrupted their electronics and communications. Suddenly, the perfectly coordinated alien fleet could not talk to each other. Admiral Kexthul found his flagship cut off from the rest of his fleet. His communications were down, his sensors were fuzzy, and his weapons were operating at reduced power. "What did they do to us?" he demanded. His chief engineer, an old Zephyrian with dim crystals, looked up from his control panel with fear in his eyes. "Admiral, they have some kind of electronic warfare system we have never seen. It is disrupting all our computer networks." For the first time in his military career, Admiral Kexthul felt something he had never experienced before. Fear. The humans were not supposed to be able to do this. They were primitive, backward, weak. Yet they were destroying his fleet with weapons and tactics that should not exist. "Send a message to the Council," he ordered. "Tell them we need reinforcements, many reinforcements." But the communications were still down. The proud Galactic Council fleet was alone in enemy space, fighting an enemy they had completely underestimated. The humans were showing them that sometimes the most dangerous opponent is the one who looks weak, but has been preparing for war. The battle was far from over, but already it was clear that this would not be the easy victory the aliens had expected. News of the failed attack reached the Galactic Council station like a shockwave. In the council chamber, the representatives sat in stunned silence as they read the reports. 300 alien ships destroyed. The human fleet not only still, fighting but winning. Ambassador Veltar's crystal body had turned a sick yellow color. His mandibles clicked nervously as he read the battle reports again and again. This cannot be correct. The humans only had 12 ships. The Drakmori representative hissed with worry. According to Admiral Kexthul's last message, they have hundreds of ships, and weapons we have never seen before. The jellyfish creature from the aquatic collective pulsed with dark colors that meant fear. Perhaps we should reconsider this course of action. The humans fight like they have nothing to lose. Because they do have nothing to lose, said the Yo machine representative, its electronic voice carrying a note that almost sounded like concern. Analysis of human behavior patterns suggests they view this as an extinction event. They will fight with maximum effort until victory or death. High Counselor Thexon slammed his crystal fist on the table. I do not care how hard they fight. Send more ships. Send all the ships. These mammals will learn their place. But several species were already having second thoughts. The aquatic collective's representative spoke carefully. High Counselor, with respect, maybe we moved too quickly. We did not study these humans enough before attacking. What is there to study? Veltar demanded. They are primitive. Their technology is basic. They just got lucky in the first battle. The machine being processed data for several seconds. Probability analysis indicates human victory was not based on luck. Their tactics show advanced planning and preparation. Recommendation: immediate peace negotiations. Peace? Thexon's crystals flared bright red. The Zephyrian Empire does not make peace with inferior species. We will crush them completely. On Earth, President Lisa Hamilton stood before the cameras in the White House briefing room. Her face was calm, but her eyes showed the steel that had made her one of humanity's greatest leaders. Behind her stood the flags of every nation on Earth, united for the first time in the planet's history. My fellow humans, on Earth and in the colonies, she began. Today, alien forces attacked our people without warning or cause. They demanded that we surrender our freedom and submit to their rule. We gave them our answer in the language they understand. She paused, looking directly into the camera. For too long we have prepared in secret for this day. We hoped it would never come. But when faced with extinction, humanity shows its true strength. We do not surrender. We do not submit. We fight. President Hamilton revealed what the world had never known. For 50 years, every major nation had been secretly working together. They had built hidden weapons, trained secret armies, and prepared for the day when Earth might face an alien threat. The ships you saw fighting today were not our entire fleet, she continued. The weapons that surprised our enemies were not our only surprises. Every human colony, every space station, every mining operation has been designed with one purpose: to defend our species and our freedom. Dr. Alex Turner worked frantically in his laboratory deep under the surface of Mars. Project Prometheus was now fully active, and he was preparing the next phase. The electronic warfare attack had been just the beginning. How long until the next wave is ready? Asked his assistant. Dr. Sarah Kim Turner looked at his calculations. 6 hours, but this next one will do more than just disrupt their communications. This will show them what human creativity can really do. The new weapon was not a gun or a missile. It was something much more dangerous to a spacefaring civilization. It was a virus, but not one that attacked living beings. This virus attacked computer systems, and every alien ship was full of computers. Captain Steve Johnson stood on the bridge of his ship, the EDS Wolverine, as it underwent emergency repairs. His crew had performed beyond all expectations, but the battle was far from over. "Sir, we are getting reports from all over the system," reported his communications officer. The aliens are regrouping for another attack. Johnson smiled grimly. Good. Let them come. We have more surprises waiting. Engineer Megan Davis activated the second layer of Earth's defenses from her command center. What the aliens had seen so far was just the outer ring of human preparations. Now they would face the real defenses. All over the solar system, seemingly empty space began to come alive. Asteroids that looked natural were actually hollow, filled with weapons and fighters. Comets that should have been balls of ice and rock opened up to reveal military installations. Phase 3 is now active, Davis reported to Admiral Morrison. All deep space platforms are online. Colonel Dan Miller coordinated with resistance cells that had been placed throughout human space decades ago. If the aliens managed to capture any human worlds, they would find that the fight was just beginning. Every colonist knows their job, Miller told his staff. If we lose a planet, we make sure the aliens cannot use it. Every mine shaft becomes a bunker. Every building becomes a fortress. Every human becomes a soldier. The human way of war was unlike anything the Galactic Council had ever faced. Most species fought with clear battle lines and formal tactics. Humans fought like they were personally insulted by the attack. They took risks that other species would consider insane. Commander Kate Williams led a group of human ships in a suicide attack on the alien fleet's supply vessels. Her pilots knew they probably would not survive, but they also knew their sacrifice would save thousands of other humans. Remember, Williams told her pilots over the radio, we are not just fighting for ourselves. We are fighting for every human who will ever be born. Make them count. The human attack ships dove straight into the heart of the alien formation. They ignored the defensive fire, focused only on their targets. When alien weapons damaged their ships too badly to continue, the pilots rammed their vessels into enemy ships rather than retreat. Admiral Kexthel watched in horror as his supply fleet was destroyed by humans who fought like they had no fear of death. What kind of species does this? He asked his tactical officer. The kind that refuses to be conquered, came the reply. Dr. Turner activated the computer virus from his Mars laboratory. The signal went out invisibly, spreading from ship to ship through the alien fleet's own communication networks. Within minutes, alien vessels began experiencing system failures. What is happening to our ships? Demanded High Counselor Thexan. When the reports reached the council station, the machine representative's voice carried electronic panic. The humans have created a digital weapon that attacks computer systems. It is spreading through our networks faster than we can stop it. For the first time in galactic history, the machine race began disconnecting from the galactic communication network to protect themselves. If the virus reached their home systems, it could destroy their entire civilization. Admiral Morrison watched the battle reports with satisfaction. The aliens had expected to fight a primitive species with simple weapons. Instead, they were facing an enemy that had spent decades preparing for exactly this kind of war. Send a message to Admiral Kexthel, Morrison ordered. Tell him we are willing to discuss terms. When the human message reached the alien flagship, Kexthel almost laughed. They want to surrender? After causing all this damage? But when he read the full message, his crystals turned pale with shock. The humans were not offering to surrender. They were offering to let the aliens surrender. Admiral, the message read, you came here to conquer Earth. You have seen what happens to those who threaten humanity. We offer you one chance to leave our space alive. Take your remaining ships and go. If you attack us again, we will not stop at defending ourselves. We will bring this war to your home worlds. For the first time in his military career, Admiral Kexthel realized he was facing an enemy he could not defeat. The humans were not just defending their homes. They were showing the galaxy that some species could not be conquered, no matter how powerful their enemies thought they were. The war was about to enter a new phase, and the aliens were beginning to understand that they had awakened something far more dangerous than they had ever imagined. The emergency alert reached the Galactic Council station at the worst possible time. High Counselor Thexan was trying to convince the other species to send more ships when the message arrived. His crystals turned black with rage as he read the report. Human ships have been detected in the Kepler system, his aide reported. They somehow got past all our defenses. The council chamber erupted in chaos. The Kepler system was supposed to be safe, far behind the battle lines. It was where the Zephyrian Empire kept their main shipyards and military academies. "How is this possible?" demanded the Drakmori representative. "The humans do not have faster-than-light drives that advanced." Ambassador Veltar's voice cracked like breaking crystal. "They do now. Intelligence reports show human vessels using some kind of space-folding technology. They can appear anywhere without warning." Captain Lisa Walker commanded the human Deep Strike Force as it emerged from folded space near the alien shipyards. Her small fleet of 20 ships looked tiny compared to the massive construction facilities around them, but they were not there to fight a fair battle. "Target the shipyards first," Walker ordered. "Those half-built ships cannot fight back." Her, Weapons Officer Lieutenant Ben Carter, locked onto the alien construction sites. "Missiles away, Captain." The antimatter warhead struck the shipyards with devastating effect. Explosions lit up the darkness as dozens of partially completed alien warships were destroyed before they could even be launched. "How did they find this place?" asked the Zephyrian base commander as he watched his shipyards burn. The answer was something the aliens had never considered. Humans were very good at gathering intelligence. For months, disguised human ships had been mapping alien space, finding their important targets and planning attacks. On the council station, panic was spreading. 3 more species announced they were withdrawing their ships from the war effort. The machine race had already disconnected completely from the galactic network to protect themselves from the human computer virus. "This is unacceptable," Thexon roared. "We cannot let these primitives defeat us." The Aquatic Collective's representative pulsed with colors that meant fear and anger. "Primitives?" "High Counselor, these humans have weapons we do not understand and tactics we cannot predict. They fight like demons." "They fight like people who have nothing left to lose," corrected the remaining machine representative. "Our analysis shows that humans become most dangerous when facing extinction. We have created the worst possible enemy." Dr. Turner's computer virus had spread throughout half the alien fleet by now. Ships were losing navigation, weapons systems were failing, and communication between vessels was becoming impossible. The proud Galactic Council fleet was falling apart from the inside. Admiral Morrison stood on the bridge of the EDS Defiance as it approached the Council station itself. He had brought only a small fleet, but it was enough to make his point. The massive alien station hung in space before them, supposedly the most protected place in the galaxy. "Open a channel to the council chamber," Morrison ordered. His communications officer nodded. "Channel open, Admiral." Morrison looked into the camera, knowing his words would reach every species in the Galactic Council. "I am Admiral Jake Morrison of the Earth Defense Force. We are here to discuss terms." In the council chamber, every representative stared at the human face on their screens. This was supposed to be impossible. No enemy fleet had ever reached the council station. The defenses were too strong, the location too secret. "How did you find us?" Veltar asked, his crystal body shaking with fear. Morrison smiled coldly. "We have been watching you for months. Your so-called secret station is not as hidden as you think. We know where all your important facilities are located." President Hamilton's image appeared on the screen next to Morrison's. She spoke directly to the assembled alien representatives with the authority of someone who had just proven their species could not be conquered. "Members of the Galactic Council," she began, "you attacked Earth without cause. You threatened our colonies and demanded our surrender. You believed we were weak because we appeared primitive. You were wrong." The chamber was completely silent. Even the machine representatives had stopped their electronic chatter. "But we are not here for revenge," Hamilton continued. "We are here to establish a new relationship, one based on respect instead of domination." Thexon's crystals flared red with defiance. "You cannot dictate terms to the Galactic Council. We have ruled this galaxy for thousands of years." "And you can continue to rule it," Morrison replied, "but you will not rule us. Earth and her colonies are now off limits to Council authority. Any species that tries to threaten humanity will face the consequences." Engineer Megan Davis spoke from her command center, her image joining the others on the council's screens. To show you we are serious, we have prepared a demonstration. Across the galaxy, hidden human devices activated simultaneously. Every major alien military installation detected the same thing. Human ships had appeared in their space without warning. The message was clear. Nowhere was safe from human reach. We could destroy your shipyards, your military bases, your command centers. Davis continued. But we choose not to. We want peace, but we will have it on our terms. The Aquatic Collective representative was the first to speak. What terms do you propose? President Hamilton outlined humanity's demands. Full recognition as a sovereign species, withdrawal of all alien forces from human space, establishment of diplomatic relations based on equality, not superiority. And in return? Asked the machine representative. In return, we will share some of our technology, Hamilton replied. Our medical advances, our agricultural techniques, our defensive systems, for species that prove they can be trusted. High Counselor Thexon could see the writing on the wall. Several species were already nodding agreement to the human terms. His own military had been devastated. Continuing the war would only lead to more disasters. The Council will consider your proposal, he said finally, his voice filled with defeat. No, Morrison replied firmly. The Council will vote now. We have given you a demonstration of human capabilities. We will not give you time to plan another attack. The vote was swift and decisive. 11 species voted to accept the human terms. Only the Zephyrian Empire voted no, and they were outnumbered. The Galactic Council recognizes the sovereign status of the human species, announced the official recorder, a small creature that had remained neutral throughout the conflict. Admiral Morrison looked around the council chamber one last time. Earth looks forward to peaceful relations with all species that respect our independence. But remember this day. Remember what happens to those who mistake human kindness for human weakness. The transmission ended, leaving the council chamber in stunned silence. In the space of a few days, everything had changed. A species they had dismissed as primitive had proven to be one of the most dangerous military forces the galaxy had ever seen. Captain Walker's strike force withdrew from alien space as quietly as they had arrived. The human fleets returned to their home systems, but everyone knew the galaxy had been forever changed. On Earth, President Hamilton addressed the planet in a historic broadcast. Today, humanity takes its place among the stars not as subjects, but as equals. We have shown the galaxy that some species cannot be conquered, cannot be bullied, cannot be forced to submit. In the weeks that followed, alien ambassadors began arriving at Earth. Some came to apologize. Others came to request trade agreements. A few came asking for defensive alliances against other threats. Admiral Morrison found himself appointed as humanity's first galactic ambassador. The council chamber where aliens had once laughed at human weakness now contained a permanent seat marked with Earth's flag. The former High Counselor Thexon sat in the reduced Zephyrian section, his once bright crystals now dim with shame. His empire had learned the hard way that technological superiority meant nothing against a species willing to fight for its freedom. At the first official meeting of the new council, Morrison stood before the assembled representatives. Humanity hopes for a peaceful future among the stars. We offer friendship to all species that respect our sovereignty. But remember what you learned here. We earned our place at this table, and we will defend it against anyone who tries to take it away. The galaxy had a new power to reckon with. The humans had proven that sometimes the most dangerous enemy is the one who looks weakest but fights hardest. And every species in the council chamber knew that the balance of power had shifted forever.